Hi, everybody. Hello, and welcome to another CiviPlus 101 session talking about organizational memberships and your CRM. So we've got a really exciting agenda for today, but we'll start off by introducing ourselves. Next slide, please. Thank you. So my name is Louise, and I'm the Chief Growth Officer at CiviPlus. My background actually is as a fundraiser, but very familiar with all different kinds of nonprofits. I'm really excited to talk to you more about CiviPlus and organizational memberships and CRMs today. Over to you, Patrick.
Hi everyone, my name is Patrick. I'm based in London, and my background is also with non-profits and social enterprises. And before this, I was working with social enterprises in East Africa. I'm passing over to Nicola.
Hello everyone, I'm Nicola. I'm an account manager here at Compuco, and I look after all of our CiviPlus clients and help them get the most out of their CiviPlus usage.
Yeah, and I'm Alex. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager here, so I help oversee these webinars, keep them running, and also CRM Administrator, have the qualifications to do that. So yeah, very keen on CRMs. Back over to you now, Louise.
Thanks, Alex. I'm just going to do a shout out to Torben, who's just messaged, who's here from Germany, who's got a public holiday today and yet is joining us. So really great to have you with us. Thanks for joining. So you can see our agenda here today. We're going to go through a little bit about defining organizational membership, just so everyone is on the same page. We are going to be talking about setting up memberships, application processes, understanding related contacts, talking a bit about payments and renewals, engagement, and leave some time at the end for Q&A. So we are going to have a jam-packed agenda, as I said. So if there are any questions, pop them in the chat, and we'll try and get to them during the presentation. And if not, we will answer them at the end. So just before we start, we just always like to kick off with doing a poll, just so we kind of get a feel for who's on the who's on the meeting today. So we're just asking two questions. So which database do you use currently? And are your members organizations or branches? Because when we talk about organizational membership, there are lots of different ways that can actually be defined. So either you might be an organization and your members are other organizations, or you might be an organization that has many different branches or chapters or regions, and the structure is quite similar. So I just thought we would ask that question just to see who's out there. So people are filling it in. So we'll just give it another minute or two, because there's quite a few of you, so it takes a minute for everyone to fill it in. But it's really interesting to see. Mostly we've got Civi CRM and CiviPlus users here, a couple of other CRMs, someone who's on spreadsheets. So I think it'll be a lot for you to see about the power of a CRM and what that can do. And I think let's close the poll, I think now. I think we've got most participants have answered. And we do have mostly member organizations who are organizations. We do have two who have branches as well. So bear in mind, everything we're talking about can also relate to branches. And so, yeah, just to know that most of the examples we're giving are really based on organizations, but just have that in your mind. Great. So, right. So I think that's everything for the poll. We just shared those results. Yes, great. And now we will continue on. So what is an organizational membership? Let's start from the beginning. So an organizational membership is when an organization's members are also organizations. So examples of these could be a trade association, where you are the association for a certain trade, and then all of your members are other organizations within that trade. Federations, networks, alliances, certification bodies, all these kinds of examples. And the reason that these organizations will exist because they really can focus on, working with industry-specific resources, pooling resources across industries, collective advocacy in terms of policies, and basically having the similar missions, and then bringing those all together with a joint association, not necessarily an umbrella association, but a joint purpose association. Overseeing standards as well. So you can have a body, as we talked about, certification bodies, and then different companies might be part of your organization because they want to have that level of standard attached to them, that they are a member of your organization. Pooling research as well. There's so many reasons for an association organization to exist that has other organizations as their members. And so why is managing their data complex? Well, explaining it's complex. So that's a good starting point. Why is it complex? Because it's the organization themselves. The organization is a member, but an organization is not a person. An organization is an organization, but they hold the membership, and then there were people connected to them that then inherit that membership. So there are different ways that you can inherit a membership. You might be an employee of that organization that holds the membership to the other association, or you might be a member of an organization that holds a membership with the higher association. Again, explaining it's complicated, so obviously structuring it in the data is also complex. And why might this be? Is, well, you might be providing services to these individuals because, like I said, if your member is an organization is not a person. So who are the people that are accessing the services or the membership benefits? So you need to keep track of all those interactions at every level, at organizational level and at their members' participation level. And you want to know who has got the rights to access the services and benefits. So this is how we keep track of everything. And this is why managing the data is quite complex. So in order to help break this down, we've got a visual example, just in case you're not all following me so far. So we've got a top level association here. So let's say our top level association is a body. And one of the things that they provide as a benefit to their members is an academic journal access. So what will happen here is the member organizations will have access to the academic journal because they are members of the top level association. But again, as we said, an organization is not a person. So we need to know which members are attached to those organizations and therefore will also gain access to this academic journal. And that is the hierarchy we need to understand and need to be able to track and be able to analyze in terms of data and membership management. Right, now we've done the introduction. So I hope everyone is clear now the structures that we're talking about, but we're going to dig into it more and show you some more examples and explain further how you can manage these complex relationships. So I'm going to hand over now.
Oh, I think Patrick's computer just gave up on him.
All right. If anyone was here at our last webinar, you'll know that this also happened. Patrick has been having some problems, and we thought we'd fix them, but apparently we haven't. Alex,
fine. Oh yeah, I will share my screen.
Alex, are you I think you're the
I am, yeah, I'm going next. So
next presenting, so I'm going to hand over to you, Alex.
Yep, so this is the next slide. What exactly is a related contact is where we're going now. Well, basically, Louisa's talked about all these individuals who are connected to their kind of, the organizations, the member organizations, and related contacts are really the people who are connected to them, who are inheriting the membership, because it's really easy within Civi, certainly Civi and maybe another CRM to set up kind of an organization as a member. It's really simple. Yeah, it's the same as like any other individual member. You're just creating a membership. But the thing we're most interested in is how do we create these more specialized connections between the two? So as Louise said, they might be employees, they might be members, they could be lots of other things. There are so many complexities to organizational memberships, as can be told by the data structure. But we need to find a way to connect them. And yeah, it's all based in the CRM in Civi on their relationship with the organization. So Civi, as some of you might know, is really heavy on building things out with relationships. It's got, really that is a core part of its contact management. And that is how inherited memberships work here. And kind of before I kind of talk in a bit more detail, we want to do a quick demo. And for this demo, just kind of give you an overview of what it might look within the system when you've got it all working. I'm introducing you to the Happy Planet Association, which is kind of like one of these high-level, top-level associations, which has lots of eco-friendly associations underneath it as its members. And so that's kind of a theme we'll be running with today for all the different demos you'll see. And I am not sure if Patrick's returned.
Is back.
I'm back.
He is back.
Yeah.
We're going to hand over to Patrick to take us through the demo.
Fantastic. So if I'll share my screen.
Yep.
Okay.
No,
I think
no,
you can share your screen, Patrick.
If you want to share your screen, just share it.
I think it says that I can't go until
sorry.
Sorry about that.
In case anyone thought this wasn't live, we're proving to you that it is.
You should be able to do it now, Patrick.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we are. So I'm going to log in here as, hi again, everyone. Sorry for sneaking out. I'm going to log in here as Sarah's staff member. And then once it's logged in, we can see here, it's got some really nice dashboards. So you can set these up for different individuals, different members of your team can have different dashboards showing different parts of the CRM and different data you've collected. We're searching here, we've found Eco Citizen Collective. So you can have a see and you can check that they are a premium member organization. And here on the left, we've got various different tabs where Eco Citizen Collective, an organization who is a member of your organization, where they connect with other parts of the CRM. So you can see on this summary tab, their website, their address, and all this other really good information. The contacts can share this address. So here, this is the address for that organization. So any contact connected to that organization can share that address. This is our GDPR preference zone. So that is for UK and EU data laws. So here they've requested that we do not phone them, and therefore it comes up with that really nice little sign there saying do not phone, and making sure that we comply with GDPR laws. And then here we've got an option for subscribing to the mailing list or not. We've got custom organization fields. So we can see that Eco Citizen Collective have chosen an organization focus for community and education, and they operate at a local level. These are really flexible. You can change it to whatever you like, whatever custom fields you want, or if you don't want them, you don't have to have them. And we've now gone to have a look at their active membership. So we can see that they're an active member, and they have a premium annual membership. So they currently have 4 out of a possible 25 members. This is really flexible. You can change or get rid of the limits if you like. That's up to you. We've got contributions here. We can see how they've paid for their membership dues, the amount they paid, and whether they're up to date. And then with activities, these are either automatic, so contribution or membership sign up, that automatically comes through, or meeting or similar, which is added by hand. So you can say what happened in the meeting, attach your notes to that meeting. Now we're going to have a look at contacts. So it's really exciting that contacts are two-way. So we're going to look on this member, Lisa, and once we can see that, then we can see that she has this inherited membership, which means that she has membership, but only through her organization of Eco Citizen. She has her own personal communication preferences and mailing subscriptions. And then separately, you can have different types of custom fields for the individuals separately to the organization custom fields. So here we've got her favorite football team, We've got interest areas. And again, these all can be very flexible to what you'd like to record about your contacts. On memberships, we can see here again that she's got premium annual membership, but by relationship, and that's through being a member or an employee of Eco. So here we've got her activities. This is her activities individually, but we can see some of them are registered individually and some of them is membership sign up through Ecosystem Collective. And then back again to her current relationships. So we can see she's a member of this Ecosystem Collective. And if we click back onto that, we can have a look here, back to the memberships area, and then relationships, we can have a look and check all the relationships that Ecosystem have, but also here we've got inactive relationships. So we can build up a really nice, deep kind of understanding of this organization and their current employees and their past employees as well. Great. Thanks very much, guys. We'll pass back over. Over to Alex.
Yes, and yeah, so Patrick's showing you off kind of what it looks like. I just talk through a few more specifics of how you set it up within Civi, because I know quite a few of you will be here, as it was clear from the poll from the Civi community. And the ways that you can kind of look at setting it up, you kind of set it up when you do the membership type, and you can configure which types of relationship are going to become these related contacts. So you can see on the image on the right there, it's the employee of the member that's really customizable. You know, you can make up your own relationship types and add them in if you want. So really, however it applies to you, you can do that. I will note that if someone has the membership type, it won't let you change it. So you want to ideally do it before anyone has that membership type. In terms of the limits, Patrick talked about that a little bit. You'll see there's the max related field there. By default, it's unlimited, but we know some organizations will give out, a certain amount of inherited memberships based on different tiers, or maybe just have a flat rate or something like that. And so you can then define it, we've got 25 there, it could be 100, whatever limit you want to put, whatever's relevant to you. And you can also override that on an individual organization member's record if, for whatever reason, you want to give them a special kind of limit. So that's also highly customizable there. And yeah, so those are just some of the finer points about how that all works.
Thank you, Alex. Yes, I think I'm going to steal the screen from you now.
I'll stop sharing.
Oh, sorry, I stole the screen from Patrick.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk to you about application process now and different types of processes here. So there's two different ways. If you are an organization that has, any organization that is actually having membership sign-ups, there are two different ways that you can do this. You can have a simple sign-up where somebody will sign up, or an approval process where it needs to go through that process. So in our example here, we've got an employee at a prospective member organization choosing one of these or being offered one of these processes. So the first process, the simple sign up. So you can create an online sign up form using web forms, and you can design this application form to be as simple or as complex as you like. You can see here our example is a very simple 3-step process. You can use it to collect custom data that is really specific to your organization, and you want to know things about your members when they sign up. You can also add conditional fields if you want to add a little bit more complexity, like only if they meet certain criteria will they then be able to move to the next stage, or if they meet X criteria, then that means they are eligible for Y membership. So you can add those automations in there, which is that auto validation that's listed there. Members can make member applications, can make payments directly on the form, and therefore they've signed up, they've made their payment, an immediate membership is created. They will get an automatic email confirmation, and then that membership can be automatically created and logged in the CRM and generate an invoice automatically. So really simple, really easy to sign up if that's how you want your members to sign up to your association or organization. But what if you have an approval process? What if there are several steps that an organization would need to go through to be approved to join? So for example, in the Happy Planet Association, they do require an approval process. If you are a eco-friendly organization, they want to make sure you're an eco-friendly organization before they say you can be a member and say that you're a member. So here's an example of what an approval process could look like. Obviously, everyone's approval process could be different. You could have multiple reviewer stages, document reviews. You could have further document reviews. So you can create the journey that you want with the stages that you want. But how do you track all this in an easy way? And that's where the cleverness of using a CRM that can really manage this application process really comes in. So application management. So how does this work? You would start off with a web form, which will create an application in the CRM, like we saw with the simple sign up. And instead of automatically creating a membership, it's going to create an application for you to then work through. So the application management module will have progress stages. It will log activities, and it will enable you to add reviews and information. And then and even further than that, it will enable you to add automation. So really taking away a lot of all those manual steps that we were seeing in that first process. So here we can create and update data based on the stage of the process they're at. We can also have auto tasks created. So if an application reaches a certain stage, then it will automatically create tasks for you to do. And you can also have automated emails created, again, when a certain stage is reached, if they need, to send more documents, or there's an invoice that goes out, or a welcome, you've been accepted email, all of that can be automated. And we'll show you that process in more detail. But one thing we're going to just mention, sorry, this slide, I jumped a slide. So we're going to show you that in more detail and in a demo now. But I'm going to mention CiviPlus because we've said CiviPlus a little bit, and we just wanted to introduce you to it. So we've been working with CiviCRM for many, many years and have basically created a SaaS version of CiviCRM called CiviPlus, which basically combines all the innovations from around the world with CompuCo's know-how and a suite of product enhancements with an exclusive self-service portal to give non-profit organizations the best possible CiviCRM experience. So we're going to be showing you a demonstration now using CiviPlus and showcasing the portal and how that can all combine together. So just so you know what you'll be seeing. And what we're going to show you, the CiviPlus portal aspect, is that you can save applications as drafts. So if you have a complex application process, somebody might not want to do it all in one go. And then also the applicant can submit the application through the portal and then see the status, see what's going on with their application. And you as an administrator can configure this all in the back end or have it be all automated. So I'm going to hand over now to Nicola, who I think is going to take the screen from me and take you through the demo of the complex application with approvals process. Over to you, Nicola.
Thanks, Louise. Right, let me just share my screen. Okay, great. So as Louise mentioned, we're going to take a look at how CiviPlus can be used to manage this application process. We're going to look at it from two perspectives. So from the applicant's perspective of how we can submit an application, and then we're also going to look at how that application is received and can be managed by the organisation who's received that application. So in this example, I'm going to start off as Annie, who is the head of operations at Green Harmony. And she's applying on behalf of her entire organisation to become a member of the Happy Planet Association. So she's going to start off via a web form within the Civi portal. And you can see here, we've already created a draft. It takes us through to our web form where Annie can fill out her details. She can upload a logo, add her address details. And you can also see here these custom fields that can be added by an organisation to collect more information about that applicant organisation. Annie can also add her contact details. And as we go through the web form pages, she can select the type of membership and also upload any supporting documents that are required. Once Annie is happy with her application, she can submit this directly in the portal and the status will change to received. Now, if we switch to the perspective of the organisation receiving that application, this can all be managed within the application dashboard within CiviPlus. So if we take a look at this dashboard, we can see here that Green Harmony's application has been received. We can see the details. We can go up to here to the overview section, which gives a summary of all of our applications and the stages that they're at. Now, these stages are just example ones, and this can be completely tailored to your organization's process. Going into Green Harmony, we can immediately see the status of the application. We can see any tasks that are available. We can see the supporting details. So everything to perform that initial review of that application. When I go into the toolbar at the top here, this menu, we can see that tasks have been automatically generated by Civi to make the whole process very simple. We can check those tasks off as we do them. And then we can save this application, add in any notes, and the status will automatically change. Annie will see that the status here is in review, so she's up to date with all what's happening. We can go back in for a more complex review. So if we go down to the people, we can check who the applicant is. Moving on to files, again, we can see any of that supporting documentation that has been automatically uploaded to our platform. And the final stage of our review process, we can add a comment, we can add a score, but this is directly related to this example. These can all be customized again to fit with your processes. So the review has been submitted, it's been approved. And as we go here, we can save all of those changes and make any notes along the way. I can also click into Green Harmony Society, and now you see all of the details that Annie has been added on her form and now within our contacts database. We can see what type of organisation she is, or Green Harmony is, all of those custom fields that were captured on our application form. If we go into the membership section, we can see all of the details of their current active membership. It also automatically creates the relationships. So again, we've got Annie showing there. And then once we go back and review Annie's application, we can see that's automatically approved and Annie has been informed. So thank you very much. That's the end of that demonstration.
I think over to you, Alex. I think you're on mute, Alex.
Yes, I am. But no, just showing my screen.
Does anyone ever get through a meeting or anything without that happening?
Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Very live this. Yeah, so that's the application process, really powerful. And we had a whole webinar about that if you want to see more about applications. But let's talk a bit more about adding those related contacts. We've defined them. We've said how the organization can initially join. But how exactly does it work when you want to add related contacts, the actual people who are inheriting the memberships? Well, there's quite a lot of different ways you can do it depending on who's doing it. Your team at the top level association can do it, of course. You could do it manually from a contact. As you can see at the side, you can add a relationship directly to a member. This is not going to be kind of very doable in bulk. You might do this, bit by bit if there's like one person here or there. But, if you're dealing with a lot of people, that's not going to be viable, really. Probably where we'd recommend starting quite often is upload via a CSV. So, certainly initially, when you're starting, if you're doing a bulk thing, the member org can give the association at the top a list of contacts, and then you can upload it. They'll all be added. But just as a note, you'll need to upload two different things there. You'll need to do the individuals, of course, but also the relationships. So that would be kind of a separate tab you'd have to upload as well in order to make sure they're all linked. As we've said before, it's all about how the relationships with the organizations. So, just uploading individuals themselves won't do it. Other things that you can do, of course, you could then outsource it to the member orgs themselves. You can give them a nice web form. You can ask them to fill in all of the data for their contacts, which might be good for one-by-one additions. If there's like the odd employee who joins them or something, they can do that just by themselves. It's probably quite convenient. Certainly for employees, this would be a good one. But yeah, saves you time if you're outsourcing it to them, of course, and it's in their interest to keep all the data updated. But probably, there's some other ways you're going to want to think about this as well. Certainly, if you're dealing with members who are out of the control of the member orgs, if you're dealing with hundreds or more people, maybe you might also want to think, certainly on an ongoing basis, of providing a form for related contacts. So you can have that and have it linked to the organization, so it will just know, what the organization is that they're going to become a member of, and the member organizations can provide that to their own members or, their own related contacts. And another way you could also do it, you could do it that way, or you could have a more generic form, as you can see at the side, where people can kind of search if their membership organization is there, and, then add their name and see. You can add approval processes on that as well, of course, because, I might say I want to be a member of one organization, but that's not the one I should be a member of. And they might say, hey, we don't know this person. So that's not something that just goes through without approval if you don't want it to. And then there's another couple of ways I want to talk about too. They're like more CiviPlus specific ways. So something we've built out, which is quite exciting, was a domain checker. Again, this, everything to do with organizational memberships is a bit complicated at times, but this one is basically at a very basic level checking to see if the related checking the related contact's email. So you put your email in and you can do all sorts of, further things in a web form based off this, but this is the starting point. And it checks to see first if their email is actually already existing within the system. So, this might be people aren't, they're going into the thing, has someone added my email? Do I qualify basically for a membership? Do I qualify to get access to services? And the other way you could do it is if the employer, university, whatever the associate, the relation is their email domain whitelisted? So, if you put in your business address, your organization's address, university address, is the end part of it, is that something that the CRM can recognize? You can put that in the CRM, and do you qualify for a membership based on that? As we said earlier with the academic journals example, if you're a member of a university, maybe you'd qualify for access to that just based on that. But it's another way to think about it. You might not necessarily want to add every single student at your university because that could get unwieldy to do. Instead, you might just want them to kind of go and check manually. If they want access, they can go and get access, and it's based on this system. And as it says here, this is great if your member organizations are very, very large. It's just, it makes it more manageable in that way, but everyone can get the inherited membership they need when they want it. And then another bit that we've got nested in the CiviPlus portal is called My Organizations. And this is a really nifty bit of functionality, which I'm actually going to pass over to Louise in a second to demonstrate. But what you can do here, amongst other things, is you can get related contacts can request to join organizations here. So maybe they see different organizations, they might be parts of. Certainly useful for something like branches. As we've said, they're also kind of related to all of this. And within here, member teams. So the teams at the member organizations can add, they can approve, they can manage all the related contacts. They can send bulk emails to the contacts, which again is really handy if you're doing something more like a branch. And you can, of course, also update your organization's details at any time within this interface. So it just makes all of these kind of like top level things really handy to handle within just one single place. And at this point, I am going to hand over to Louise, who's going to demo what my organizations looks like, because I realize that probably doesn't explain it quite fully yet.
Thanks, Alex. Thank you. Yeah, so really excited to show you this bit of functionality within the portal. So we're going to log in. And this time we're logging in as Bill Bailey. And Bill is he is the lead contact of the Green Harmony Society that we saw earlier. So we log in and we'll see his portal. And what we're going to do is navigate to my organizations. Now, only Bill is going to have access, or only a lead contact is going to have access to my organizations if we've granted it. And what that means is he can manage the members on behalf of his organization. So first of all, he can see that he's got the Green Harmony Society that he's able to access. So if you haven't given the right permission, you won't see that at all. So it really is easy to control and manage. And so what he can do here is he can update the organization's key information that is stored on your CRM. So if the address changes, the phone number changes, we've got here the option to update those custom fields that we'd added at an organizational level. So actually, if you want to change or add different custom fields that you'd like to know about your member organizations, you can put that here and get your lead contact to update them at their leisure. Or if things change, they can also update it, which is also important because things sometimes do change. And then the key bit of functionality here is managing the members. So as Alex said, there's two different ways that members can request to be part of the membership of the Green Harmony Society's membership of the Happy Planet Association. So they are members of the Happy Planet Association, the Green Harmony Society, and within that, they've got members that can access benefits. So there's two ways that their members can request to access these benefits or to access the membership. One is putting in a request. So this can be done via a web form. And here we've got Annie has put a request in. And so Bill can decide whether to approve or reject this. And again, if that's done by the domain checker as well, that's where you have that approval safeguard, basically. So not just anyone is signing up, especially if you've got a limit of how many members you can have. So Bill can approve or reject that request. And if he approves it, Annie is now added into his list of members. He can also choose to add someone new himself via an invitation. So all he needs to do is put in their first name and last name, send out an email, and then they will be invited to join and then to access that member benefits and be part of that member list for the Green Harmony Society. And so in this list, we can see we've got certain pieces of information. We can also manage this list. We can remove members, which again, if people leave, if you're an employee organization and people leave, you'll want to remove their membership. If you have a limited number of members, say it's like 20 a year and they change year on year, you'll want to be able to manage that within the system. And it's very easy for your main contact to be able to manage that for you. So here also within that, they can also manage roles. So Bill is the main contact, but there could be a second main contact. Or you might want to acknowledge the financial contact, like who in the Green Harmony Society is responsible for paying the membership to the Happy Planet Association. So you can manage those member roles and they will be reflected in the back end of the CiviCRM. So you as administrative staff can see all of that, but it's really easy for Bill to basically manage his organization's membership. There's also additional functionality here of being able for Bill to email everyone who is a member and send out vital information. So you can see they've got the opt-in. He can select everyone or he could pick and choose. And down the bottom here, he's got the ability to actually send out emails to everyone that's relevant. So again, a really great bit of functionality to help that lead contact manage those members. And again, this is really useful for branches as well, regions, chapters. Everyone can benefit from this level of membership management when you've got, a membership organization and you need to manage which members of yours can access the benefit. So that email is now being sent, it's processing, and then we can see that those 12 messages have processed. So that is the functionality within the portal. And now we're going to talk about payments and renewals.
Yes.
So I am going to hand it over to Alex to continue speaking.
Yes, so payments and renewals. Obviously, we've got all the great things about how it all works within the system, but we really do want to talk about like the payments. That's a super, super important part, of course, how we keep the lights on, of how it all works. And so with memberships, there are two types of membership that you can have within the system. You can have either a rolling membership, which start when you join, or you can have a fixed one, which I'll have a set start and end date. So might be the financial year, might be the beginning of the year, might be a completely different date. School year, whatever it is, it's kind of, this is the start, this is in the end. And so obviously the member statuses then are, if they're a member or not, relating to this rolling or fixed thing is passed on to the related contacts, as we've already explored. Worth highlighting here, we're going to be talking through some extra features that aren't necessarily within the base version of Civi CRM. They're here with CiviPlus though, and they are in fact part of our membership extras extension. And for any of you who went to the Civi meetup, you can find all about what membership extras offers, but we'll be mentioning some of those and I'll try and highlight when they're not in the core version, but as I say, they are on CiviPlus. You can do things like setting things to auto renew, when you create a new membership, which is of course fantastic. Sometimes we do want things to auto renew. You can set things to be managed in installments. So maybe you don't want to just do one bulk payment. Maybe you instead want to, as you can see at the side there, do it on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, an annual basis. How do you want to manage the installments for these payments? And of course, you can also set up pro rata calculations for the fixed type, which is to say, if we have a fixed start and end date, January to December, if someone wants to join us, say in April, well, we might not want to charge them the full rate because it's later in the year, and we probably don't want to turn them away. So this helps, the system can then calculate for you what it is they would owe based on a few different things. As I said, there's more information in that other session. And yeah, you can find the recording on YouTube. But next up, we're going to talk a bit more about the renewal. So said some things about renewals there, but on a basic level, of course, you can manually renew anyone yourself as an admin in the system. So that's a very simple way of doing it. But you could also clearly provide your members with a web form, and probably that's an even better way of doing it rather than doing everyone's renewal by yourself. Unless you're dealing with a small number of member organizations, ideally they'll be doing a bit more of the work for you. So that simple setup. And of course, you can automate email reminders, super important with web form links. From all the things that we've looked at, and we've talked about this in webinars in the past, ideally 3 months before is really when you should start thinking about the thing, especially with these fixed, most relevant to fixed memberships. But think about that renewal and start thinking about it early and start communicating with them early. With CiviPlus, and again, you can see things in the portal itself. You can see, the important dates and when the renewal's coming up, and we're showing a picture of what that looks like in a second. Plus, as well, you can access the invoices at any time within the portal. So, it's not going to have to be constant communication between both parties about, oh, I need to see my invoice, okay, and then you have to dig it out. No, you can just automatically goes in the portal. And if we see what it looks like here, we've got my memberships, a great piece of functionality, which you can see membership expired. That was the expiry date. The membership was in the past. Please renew. So you can renew. Here we've got the current membership when it's current. That was the renewal date. You've got an annual membership there. So lots of different things there that you can see. And of course, we've also got here, it's paid by an offline recurring contribution. Clearly when we're talking about organizational memberships, quite a lot of it might even be done by invoices. So it might not be done by online payments as such. So that's something that very much we account for. As you can see here, there's also the invoices section. You can have personal invoices. You see my invoices and my organization's invoices. And you can see the invoice here. You can download a PDF for it. Really useful to have for the files, and you can also pay it now, of course. More functionality to talk about. Again, this is within the membership extras module out of the box with CiviPlus. Something really useful that you can do is that you can automatically change membership tiers or pricing the next period. And this is kind of like based on, each rule for this uses a group to filter against. So you could have members in a certain, region, members who've been around for a certain time. You can really segment your data and drill it down. So some examples of what this might be, we've got there, say you've got new members on an introductory rate, they can then go to a full membership after a certain period of time. Or maybe you charge your members by their size, their turnover, and so they can go from one tier to another as that increases. And all of that, as I said, happens at renewal, but it happens automatically, so you don't need to upgrade them. The system takes care of it for you. And as well as this, it's not just the core membership, of course, that we're interested in. Lots of membership organizations also offer add-ons, but they're actually really simple. Again, this splits from membership extras. You can add them really simply within this. So some examples of add-ons you might want to give might be insurance, journal access, magazine subscriptions. There's lots of different things you could choose here. And you can add them to the payment plans if they're occurring. So, like we talked about the installments, every month you might be paying your member dues. Well, you might also be paying for journal subscription as well. So within membership extras, it kind of like lets you group those together all within one big payment, but it also itemizes them within different line items even. And of course, and you can do this within core Civi. If you want to keep them as completely separate kind of one-offs, maybe it's just I buy access to this one thing. That's very simple as well. You'd probably just do that with a web form, and do a standard payment that way. But these are, of course, not just always for the membership organizations. They might be more for the employees at the membership organization. Sometimes it really depends what you're doing, but they could also filter out as benefits to the related contacts. So these work in all different ways, and it's up to everyone's imagination and what you're doing, how they filter out. And I think that's kind of a whistle-stop tour on membership payments. There is so much we could say about that, but I'll pass over to Lise at this point.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. So we just wanted to sort of round up this, talking a little bit about engagement and what you can do within Civi. So one of the first things we will always talk about engagement is communication. So within Civi and CiviPlus, there is built-in email communication capabilities. There is a powerful drag and drop email builder. There is immensely powerful segmentation, which is really key. And we've been talking about that as a theme throughout so that you can kind of group your members together. And then, of course, if you want to keep them engaged, you want to keep the organization contacts engaged, and then their related contacts of inherited members engaged. So you really want to segment your communications and really tailor who you're talking to. You can add tokens to personalize things, which is one of the best things about Civi, is that you can really do personalization at scale. We always recommend that you have a communication strategy specifically for engagement of existing members. And then thinking of the types of email communications you can do. We always like to highlight sending out surveys. Really, as we say, ask the people what they want to really connect with and get them to interact with you and tell you, what they are looking for or what they're excited about within what your organization can offer. And of course, re-engagement campaigns are really good to think about if you've got members that you think are a bit dormant and then you're worried they might actually not renew their membership, is to really specifically target them. And then you can create segments based on the members that you feel like, that you need to target in that way. And we've basically got, obviously, all of that is a whole other section. So we've got some previous webinars we just wanted to highlight that you can look at either on our website, CiviPlus, or on our YouTube channel, how to craft emails your supporters will want to open. and a marketing masterclass on email segmentation. So put those two together, and then you're in for a winning combination. And of course, the built-in email communications and powerful segmentation possible with Search Kit is all out of the box with CiviPlus. And the same with the events management. So to have a comprehensive events management all within your CRM. The same with the email, that we're not going out to any third-party tools. You don't need to. All your data is in one place, and therefore all the information is connected to the contact. As we showed, as Patrick showed at the beginning, you can see all the events every contact's been to, all the email communications, all are connected within the system. So within the event management, you can do full end-to-end management from registration to thank yous. You can take payments. You can add custom fields specifically for events to do with perhaps dietary requirements or accessibility or wherever else it might be related to whatever event you're putting on for your organization. And then this extra bit here is that you're able to gate sign up for members only. So you can allow only members to register for a certain event. You can even allow only certain tiers or certain types of members to be able to register for events, which is really great. And you can base that off of segmentation or related contacts as well. And that all comes out of the box, again, with CiviPlus, and actually would be connected to the portal. So if you're eligible to register for an event, it will appear, and if you're not, it won't. So just a brief mention on those two engagement pieces. And the final part, I know we've talked a lot about our CiviPlus portal, but it really is designed for memberships and organizational membership management specifically. We have a membership directory available where you can choose to list organizational members or related contacts. They can choose to opt in. They don't have to be listed, but it's really great for building a network, building that engagement. And then within the portal, every member will have portal access, and then they can search through that directory and, search for specific organizations or specific individuals. Can be really helpful. If you think about our Happy Planet Association for the Green Society, being able to connect with the Eco Collective because they're doing a similar project, and that they know they're both part of this association. I think there's a lot of power in that and a lot of benefit to members to being able to do that within their membership of your organization. So I'm just going to conclude there. I'm going to introduce CiviPlus. I feel like we already introduced it, but just to give a whistle-stop tour. So as I mentioned earlier, it's non-profit dedicated. It is easy to use. It's an all-in-one, out-of-the-box version of Civi CRM. So we've put all the functionality that you need into that, ready and available to be configured for your personal customizations. And what does CiviPlus do? So we've talked a lot about lots of different areas already. And I'm just going to do a high-level overview in the last couple of minutes. Of course, it can manage contacts, organizational and individual, and any other type of contact that you want, and connect those relationships and have you create whatever relationships you want. Take payments online, as we've mentioned. Track fundraising opportunities. If you're also a fundraising organization, all of that fundraising functionality is also available. Fundraising tracking, you have to do the fundraising yourself. But managing memberships, of course, that's what we've been talking about. Events, I've already mentioned. CPD tracking is available. If you are a professional body and you need to track continuous professional development points, you can do all that tracking as well. Drag and drop email builder, which we've mentioned. Case management, if you're an organization that manages cases, if you're a union, perhaps, whatever it might be, housing association, you can track all of your case management very easily through the system. Task dashboards, personal task dashboards, my favorite. You can assign tasks to other members of staff and it pops up in their task dashboard. And we saw those auto tasks that were created that Nicholas showed us. So there's a lot of task management and dashboarding included. reporting and analytics. So there's probably 100 report templates. And then we've got this very strong search kit functionality for deep reporting and deep segmentation. And just to mention, any custom fields that you create are reportable and searchable. Surveys and petitions that I've already mentioned, sending out web forms, collecting that data and having it all stored in one place. You can manage volunteers. Now, volunteers at an organizational membership level might be about committees. I'm sure you've got lots of people on lots of different committees volunteering their time, and you want to be able to manage all of that. Tracking any kind of application, not just membership application. Maybe you'll have scholarships or awards, whatever it might be. People are applying for something to do with your organization. Grant management as well. You might be a grant giving organization and you want to track not only the application of that, but the financial giving out of any grants that you're awarding. A certificate generator, which I love. So you can have obviously membership certificates, which are really important for certain organizations. I know people need to be able to show their active membership certificate. And all of that actually is visible also in our self-service portal, which comes out of the box with CiviPlus. So we'd love to talk to you. I know some of you are already very well engaged with, and it's lovely to have you here. But if those of you who haven't yet spoken to us or aren't yet using CiviPlus or Civi CRM with us, please, we'd love to talk to you. Patrick is here, who's already, you've met him earlier. And if there's anyone from North America here, Gary is our North America sales associate, so he'll be the one to speak to. We will be, sending out a recording of this presentation with contact information for Patrick and Gary, but they would love to talk to you and give you a personalized demo, because we've tried to do this talk encompassing everybody, but as we know, everyone's got very different and individual needs, and it's much easier to talk in specifics with your specific organization's needs. And lastly, our next webinar is Member Acquisition Bootcamp, Essential Marketing Tactics. So Alex will be leading that and talking broadly about marketing tactics that, of course, will be supported by a strong CRM and obviously with a base of Civi and CiviPlus. So that will be on Thursday, the 20th of June. We'd absolutely love to see you there. And I think okay, 1 minute. We've gone 1 minute over. So thank you all. I think we, apologies for being the extra minute, but we are happy to stick around and answer any questions or take any comments. But I will conclude now and say thank you all for joining us. And we hope to see you again. I think we will end the recording here, and then we'll take any questions for anyone who does have 5 minutes or so to stick around.
Thanks everyone.